The OLMS. They play such an important role in the story of Amphibia, and yet I can count the times they were mentioned in the show on one hand. And likewise, no one in Amphibia seems to know anything about them either. Who are these ancient beings? What is their story and their purpose? In this video, we are lifting the mystery that are the OLMS. Quickly starting off with the obvious general info, OLMS are blind, worm-like subterranean amphibians. In the case of the show, they are huge. Giganosaurus, Ginemanosaurus, you get the point. According to Marcy's diary, the OLMS are keepers of legends and prophecies, can confirm, that are known for worshipping nature. It is even said that their poor eyesight and spiritual relationship with nature grant them a special connection to spirits and divine forces. Ever since the show has ended, we know that divine forces are actually a thing in the Amphibia universe. What is meant here are the Guardian and the multiverse. Claiming the OLMS may have been in contact with the Guardian or something like that is definitely too far-fetched. But it is quite safe to say some OLMS can tap into the power of the multiverse. For example, Mother Rome, who can foresee the possible future, just like the Guardian. Not to mention that she's the only one that can actually see, compared to all the other OLMS. What is just as much a metaphor as it is a fact. While Mother Rome can see, the OLMS have not been sighted by any amphibian on the surface for a whopping 500 years. That is because they have decided to live a secluded life in their secret underground city, Proteus. But what was their reasoning for cutting themselves off from the rest of the world? There are several factors that contributed to this decision. To start, OLMS are sensitive to sunlight. Given they can in fact die pretty quickly when in contact with it, they have little reason to spend any time on the surface at all. On top of that, they are isolationists in general, and do not like to concern themselves with the affairs of the other amphibians. So the second reason is that they just wanted to live peacefully without having to deal with the troubles of the frogs, toads and newts. And I must say, I get it, because boy were there troubles in the past, which is the third reason they turned their backs on the other species. Over the course of a couple hundred years, Amphibia changed beyond recognition in an unimaginable pace. What is, by the way, all within the lifespan of a gnome, as they get at least several hundred up to 1,000 years old, with Mother Rome even being a few thousand years of age. At some point the Calamity Gems were discovered. Wars were fought over them. Then Valeriana invented the Calamity Box. The newts began invading other worlds, all while Amphibia became a world of technology, before the box went missing and the ancient societies started crumbling. This was nothing the OLMS wanted to have any part in. They probably disliked the way the newts turned Amphibia's beautiful scenery into machinery over time, and likewise how they completely stripped the other worlds of all their resources without any regard for their nature and inhabitants. Moreover, the OLMS are the wisest of the amphibians. They knew better than to let themselves be corrupted by the gem's power, so they fled to the underground to not be associated with the whole Calamity Box matter in the slightest. Though one of the secret letters from Marcy's diary suggests something different. The ones who wrote these scripts are the newts. They speak of a mother, what must refer to Mother Rome, who apparently abandoned them. This letter evidently describes the OLMS leaving the surface at some point after Leaf stole the music box. As far as we know, the OLMS left 500 years ago. However, given that Leaf stole the music box 1000 years ago, there's at least a 500-year gap here, during which the OLMS and the other species must have been in contact, after the music box appeared and everyone went wild about it. Not to mention that the newts report they felt abandoned by Mother Rome in these trying times. Put differently, one way or another, the OLMS were involved in the whole affair after all, at least until they made it so that they no longer are. Unfortunately, there is no official source explaining in what way exactly the OLMS influenced history in this regard. At the very least, Mother Rome conveyed the prophecy to some newts, otherwise there would be no way that the secret letters speak of it, and that it's noted word for word in Andrias' book. book. Potentially, their contributions go even further than that. At every single one of the Calamity temples, OLMS are depicted. Did the other species just want to pay a tribute to the OLMS who told them about the prophecy? Or perhaps the OLMS created the temples instead, to ensure the prophecy comes to pass? Closely related to that, if the OLMS really built the temples, where did they get the knowledge from regarding how to make the temples actually connect to the gems? The answer is Valeriana. Mother Rome is old enough to have met Valeriana even when she was still alive. She must have confided in her, told her all about the box, its functions and dangers. This is also the reason Mother Rome knew of the secret spell. Even if they never met during Valeriana's living times, owing to the OLMS' spiritual affinity, I'm convinced Mother Rome is able to perceive Valeriana's ghost, making it very likely the two of them met at some point. Now, based on the previously illustrated, the OLMS' role in the show, beyond the very practical uses of Mother Rome, becomes apparent. They are the bridge between the multiverse and Amphibia. The way the multiverse and the powers that govern it are a complete mystery and imperceivable to the eye is reflected by the OLMS' existence. Moreover, their relation to the divine forces and the fact that they are the oldest amphibians grant them a special role among all the species. What, funnily enough, really mirrors the Lord of the Rings influence Matt used for the show. You know, the ancient kind that is affiliated with nature and the gods, and a godlike mother figure with future foresight. Anyway, for more cartoon content, subscribe to Frogtoons. And if none of us go hide underground, I'll see you next time.